What is up, YouTube? JamieTheKid00 here, coming to you guys with another Dueling Network duel video. I'm trying to make these kind of a daily segment, trying to do as many as I can, put them on the back burner so you guys have at least something coming out of my channel every single day, even if I don't have enough time to do a real video, like real cards. I want to at least be able to bring you something, so this is kind of solution to that. And today I'm actually going to be playing Machina Geargia. It's an idea that was tipped off to me by a gentleman called Nicholas Burgess, so big credit to him for the concept of the list that I'm playing here. It's definitely I literally only saw him playing the game, and he told me about, I think, 2 of the main cards he was playing, and I kind of built the rest from the ground up there. But I've definitely been having a lot of fun with this variant. It's somewhat different from the hands variant and the trap tricks variant. It is Machina Geargia, built with, of course, a little teeny tiny tech in the form of an ancient gearbox, which we'll get to in a little bit. So we've had 3 Fiendish Chains so far, always good. We don't know what our opponent is playing, possibly some sort of control deck, but we're gonna try and go for our armor. Of course, I'm not actually gonna make a play with the armor just yet. I am going to go for the arsenal, and then use the effective armor to set itself again. So of course, holding the arsenal for now means we have a Redox play in the wings, and we can just try and rotate our armor for now if we should just generate advantage while we wait to find out what our opponent's playing. Because generating advantage is always good. So he's playing Lightsworn. I'm actually going to Fiendish Chain the Raikou and risk getting blown out by a Rogue Celestia. No, we're not going to get blown out by the Rogue Celestia. So we're going to go into the next turn. This time I am going to flip the armor. And then this time we're going to go for the accelerator. And we're going to actually make a play. You can see the Ancient Gearbox chilling in the deck there. We'll get to why he's good in a little bit if I should happen to activate his effect, which I'm going to aim to do in this turn if it goes through. So what I'm actually going to do, need to think, is be aggressive. I'm going to kill this Raikou. And then see if this is a second Raikou over here, which it probably is. No, Eclipse Wyvern. Okay. Eclipse Wyvern is fine by me. So he's going to see away with 1 Judgment Dragon. One of the many probably coming to bombard my field. So we're going to go main 2. F Arsenal. I'm going to use this effect to get a Geargiano from the deck. Geargiano, very important to have in grave as soon as possible. A, so you don't draw it, and B, so that you can use it for Gigant to float the Gigant. The one thing that people will probably realize glancing at my deck list while I'm going through my plays is that you will see I'm not actually playing any copies of Geargia Gear. When Geargia Gear went to 1, I found that playing the 4 Geargiano engine just to sustain that 1 Geargia Gear was really hurting me. So I decided to cut it all entirely and just play 1 and 1 of each Geargiano. I was testing it with 1 and 1, but it was just becoming inconsistent because I was trying to get to my Geargiano very, very fast. So we're now going to activate Geargigant X, or Geargigant Cross, to get us a copy of Ancient Gearbox to our hand. I'm going to use the effect of Box to then also get me a copy of Geargia Arsenal to my hand. Ancient Gearbox has an effect where when you add it from your deck to your hand, except by drawing it, you can add an Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack or defense. He wants me to reveal Box. Almost everyone wants me to reveal Box because they have no idea what it does. It's also really cool because of this stat line of 2000 defense. It's really cool to set anyway to bluff armor, but then when you actually do set it, it is a huge wall, especially against a huge amount of the meta cards right now. So I'm actually going to set the double chain now that we know we're playing against Lightsworn. I do want to have protection for the blowout big monster drops. And Ancient Gearbox is as also important as well in this deck because while it's a free search, it's also fodder for your Machina Fortress. So our opponent is just going to pick up immediately because apparently his hand was trash. I'm actually citing some pretty weird stuff here. So please forgive me for that. I'm actually main decking a Soul Drain because everyone online is playing Hat and variants of Hat at the moment. and I just keep on getting blown out by them, so I am maining an out to that. Oh, excuse me. I'm actually going to take out the Red Ox at this point, in favor of the Fortress, actually. Because I really want to just have the Red Ox out of the way if I'm going to be trying to banish things and stop things from being sent to the deck, but to the graveyard with Dimension Fortress Weapon. Dimension Fortress Weapon, also a tech card that I'm testing alongside the Ally of Justice Cycle Readers as outs to the Lightsworn matchup, because it is a very, very difficult matchup in my opinion for the Geargia deck if the traps do not come in their correct sequences, which for me happens an awful lot. So he's going to Solar Recharge, ditching a Lumina, and milling an Eclipse Weapon and a Raiden, which is very big for him. So his Eclipse Weapon is, of course, going to banish the JD. And if he has a Lumina in hand now, he's going to have a very big opening play, especially seeing as my only opening is Gear Frame set a few. He puts himself in a very strong position. He does not have the Lumina. He's definitely setting a Raikou, which I'm going to try and bait out with Frame. I'm going to try and activate Frame. I'm definitely not going to use the armor at this stage because I'm fearful of what his back row will be. So we're going to get the Fortress to our hand, and I'm just going to attack with the Frame, force the Raikou out, because the Frame has paid itself. No, it is another Wyvern. See, the thing is, I normally don't play around Raikou because almost every competent Lightsworn player I've met doesn't actually play Raikou, but Raikou seems to be making a resurgence. I mean, maybe people are playing it to catch people out. And the fact that he has just banished a Diabolos rather than a Judgment Dragon tells me something about the possibility that there's two in his hand. So we have to start playing around that immediately, hence why the back row has just gone down. And he meets it with a Royal Decree, so big right now. That puts us in a horrible, horrible position. Of course, we have the luxury of trying to Diamond Direwolf it next turn, but we are met with a Raiden. The Raiden is okay, regrettably. So his Raiden does find a Lightsworn, making it 19, and he also finds the the Dragon Ruler to banish both of his Wyverns. So he is more than likely going to be making a very strong push this turn. Of course, he still does not have access to a Judgment Dragon play. He does not have 4 Lightsworn names in his graveyard, but he does have access to other very strong plays, such as Star Eater. So it puts us in a rather difficult position, in which I may even be forced to crash my Fortress to deal with it. Because Fortress destroys 1 card. I may have to, if he makes Star Eater, make the Fortress, crash, kill the Decree, and then Dark Hole away the Star Eater. And then my back row will be live to deal with his other threats. Hello, Toby X5. So he is going to banish 2 Wyverns for the Tempest, and add the Judgment Dragon and the Light Raid Diabolos to his hand. Of course, neither one is live so far because his graveyard does not have 5 lights, and it also does not have 4 names of Lightsworns. So he's going to go for the Star Eater play that I said about before, and he's going to go straight into the battle phase and hit me for 1400 points of damage, a huge impact. But we can definitely play out of this. So I believe at this point in the game, drawing the Ancient Gearbox is massive for us, because we can now Fortress without having to get rid of our precious armor. It's an inherent summon. It doesn't start a chain. He can't chain Maxi. He really shouldn't draw for Fortress. I mean, as I was discarding the cards, he Maxi'd. So if he's okay to do that, I'm fine with that. So what we're going to do at this stage is I'm actually going to have to do the play that I suggested before, which is attacking with the Fortress. So I'm going to take 700. I'm going to use this effect to destroy the Royal Decree. And then we're going to go main phase 2. Dark Hole away the Star Eater. So he now has 4 different lights and 3 names in his graveyard. And we're going to set the armor and hope that he doesn't have the second Royal Decree to lock us out yet again. So here's Judgment Dragon, Diabolos, and 2 cards that we do not know. I am actually going to try for the Bottomless here to shut him out of more names, which I feel is correct. So his graveyard should be, name free. So what we're going to now do is I'm actually going to flip summon the armor, and I'm actually going to go for Rhapsody at this stage. Of course, I am going to go via my arsenal to set up a Geargia in graveyard. Of course, I wanna make that play because Accelerator gains us nothing here because we have no normal summon that we want to retain. So I'm gonna go Arsenal effect, getting myself the Geargia, and I actually realized I do play the Cycle Reader, so I'm not gonna go for Rhapsody. I'm actually going to use the guys to go into I forgot the name of it, Gigant crossplay. So we're actually gonna overlay these 2. Go for Gigant. I say Gigant Cross because apparently that's what it's called in Japan. Apparently the X is meant to mean cross. So I'm going to use Effective Gigant to get myself an Ally of Justice, Cycle Reader, because I can use it like a DD Crow to banish 2 lights from his graveyard as soon as they hit it. So the moment he actually sets up a JD or Diabolos play, I can guarantee you that my Cycle Reader is coming out. When he actually activates, let me think. Okay. So when he mills the 2, if he finds a name, he does not. I would have been hitting it, but he doesn't find the name, which is great for me. Of course, hitting the second Max C. Is he possibly considering a Dragon Rule play to get the Gigant off my field? It could be. He could be considering that ruler. At which point I would probably consider Fiendish Chaining, because I do want to retain my field. Do want to retain my board presence. 2 of his cards in hand are currently locked as dead cards. So we're doing alright. 2 of them are definitely Judgment Dragon and Diabolos, and if the telegraphing on the banishing of Diabolos is correct, this is actually 3 Judgment Dragons and a Diabolos. So if we play to that, he actually has a completely dead hand, which I'm definitely hoping for. So he's going to mill 2 with Raiden, hit the final name, so I believe that name is getting banished as soon as we enter the turn, as soon as he enters his turn. So standby phase, main phase, Effective Gigant is coming out. And we're going to get ourselves a copy of, I'm actually going to get the Fortress Weapon online now. Yep, definitely going to get the Fortress Weapon. To, if anything, bait out the breakthrough skill that is in his grave. So we're going to go with that Fortress Weapon. And I am going to enter my phase of the battle, an attack with Gigant, because we know the Honest is gone. Gigant's attack goes through. We're then going to go with the Fortress Weapon attack as well. And I think in the end phase, I'm actually going to hit the cards in his graveyard now with one of my Cycle Readers, just in case he has anything in his turn. So I'm going to Cycle Reader and banish the Erin, which we know most people play 1 of, and the Lumina, which I know he can play multiples of, but I feel like it's an important hit at this time, because then he can't loop through Luminas. So the Cycle Reader is now gone. Oh, think he's going to hit us with the Dark Hole. Gigant is going to get us the Geargia that we prepared in grave earlier, the one we made earlier. We should only have 1, 2, 3 lights now for his Diabolos, and only 2 Lightsworn names. No, 1 Lightsworn name, so he's very, very hard pressed to make a play. Of course, the Dark Hole was the top decked card, it did come from here, so we may have him on the ropes. Maybe. Of course, if he passes, the Call of the Haunted is coming out for the armor, which is what I'm now going to do. So the Call of the Haunted is going to come out for the armor. We're then going to enter the next turn. And we draw the Fortress Weapon, which is very nice. Effective armor, setting itself. We're then going to flip it. Oh. Its effect is then going to activate, getting us a copy of Geargia Accelerator, because I do wish to play around. I do want to play around Raikou. That is a concern of mine. Definitely a concern. Although there is, of course, the fact that we could or should push for game. But I'm a very cautious player at this stage. F Guiano. I suppose what I can do is go for the effective Guiano, getting me back an Arsenal. Special summoning the old Accelerator, overlaying these two into a Gigant. Effect of the said Gigant. Who's going to get us the Accelerator straight back to our hand. We're then going to special summon the Accelerator back to the field. Definitely where we want to go. And we're actually going to, because we haven't normal summoned as well, make the Diamond Direwolf play. Oh, it is a Necro Gardener. We played a bit too cautiously there, regrettably. But we are going to summon the Fortress Weapon, get him stuck behind that again, unless he uses his breakthrough skill, and then swing for 17, which he should take, and then try to swing for 23, which he will, of course, Necro Gardener. So we now know that one of his cards in hand was not a Judgment Dragon. Of course, he hasn't milled any. So we're going to pass back. Definitely going to pass back, and we're going to do everything we can to stop him milling in this turn. He's going to possibly break through skill if he's seen... Oh. Banishing 2 for Redox. Redox comes out. That is fine. Is this just a pass play situation? Could be. He's going to banish Dragon and the Diabolos from his hand to bring out a Tidal. It's all fine so far. Of course, going to hope that he goes for Draco Sack. And I'm going to try and make the smart play and wait until he tributes the token to then Fiendish Chain, because otherwise it can tribute itself under Fiendish Chain to possibly knock out my last back row or some other card. However, we do know that one card in his hand is dead. That is a thought. So I may have to think when he does actually drop his Dracosack. If he goes for Dracosack, he might be going for something. He's going for Big Eye. That is perfect. That means that the Fiendish Chain is coming straight out. What's he targeting? He's going to target the Gigant Cross. We're going to Fiendish Chain, and that may seal the deal. We have the game. There we have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be the end of the Geargia game. I am going to play it out because he does seem to want me to. So I'm only too happy to oblige. F box. The box is going to get us the Arsenal. Or is it? Yep, it's going to get us the Arsenal. We are, of course, going to dump those then straight off for our Fortress. and we're then going to pursue the game punch with our Geargia. So yeah guys, that has been Geargia Machina. I'm going to try and do a few more duels of this. I do have work soon, so it probably might be later tonight. But I hope you've all enjoyed. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye bye.